We're live. It says you're live. Okay, guys, we're back. It's Louis in Southwest UK. Obviously, we are called Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. And I'm just a guy at home in his kitchen with his kids, with his two dogs, who wants to help defend Elvis Presley because I think that the things that have been said about Elvis for 50 years, basically, many of them are unfair, untrue from my point of view. I think it's been quite cruel. I think many of the things said about Elvis are very hurtful. Could you imagine how he would feel if he was alive now? Imagine if Elvis did live past 42. Hi, Nadia. Imagine if Elvis lived past 42. Hi, Stacey. Let's just let a few people appear. So, no, be quiet, sweetheart. So this is Yasmin. She's with me. So I've had a great day today. It's been extremely sunny. We've been to the beach, the park. I've done a lot of walking today because my wife tends to chill with her friends and the kids. I get bored, so I just go off and I have a long walk. I think I've walked about 5 miles today.
I'll turn it down.
Yes, please. Fact, write down, please. Thank you. So, just imagine, guys. Imagine if Elvis had lived past 42, how hurt he would be. All the different things that have gone on. So many things that would have really upset him and just, I think in some ways, broke his heart. So we're here. Even though Elvis has passed away, God rest his soul, we're here as Team Elvis to defend Elvis. And I think it drives us all mad because we keep seeing and hearing and reading and watching things constantly about Elvis that are so negative and so cruel. And we can't even do anything about it. Our only outlet is through the comments on the channels, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, obviously YouTube. And it's quite frustrating because we can, and I see it in the comments, we can scream as loud as we want through those comments. And it doesn't make any difference, does it? Now, we're all saying it to each other with hundreds of Elvis channels. And someone said to me today, there's two types of fans. They said, and I thought this was quite a standout thing that was said. You get two types of fans. The ones that love Elvis and Lisa Marie, and the ones that love Priscilla and Navarone. Seriously. It's split. And this is my opinion. I personally think the ones that like Priscilla and Navarone, and I'm not saying this in a hateful way, have, in my opinion, have been brainwashed. I think they've fallen for the fairy tale that we're all now starting to call this a fairy tale. Many of these channels say the word fairy tale. Yeah? And that's because they know that this was a story written by a woman 7 years after. Actually, I can say it slightly different. 7 years after Elvis died, but you can add another 4 years to that. So 11 years after the divorce. Yeah? Because they divorced officially in 73. This book was written in 85. So we've got a book. Hi, Elvis Presley. We've got a book that has been written that had Elvis Presley had nothing to do with the writing of this book. None of his family had anything to do with the writing of this book. The only person that wrote this book, hi Chloe, hi Joshua. The only person that wrote this book is Priscilla Presley. And her name isn't even Priscilla Presley because she took the name back after Elvis died. Her name is Priscilla Bulow, which on the first divorce settlement, she chose to give up Bulow and be called, get it right. She chose to give up Presley and we call Beulah. So we have a book here by Priscilla Presley, who is not Priscilla Presley, that no Elvis person has ever had a say in this book. This was just written by Priscilla Beulah, and it was written, what did we say? Was it 11 years after the divorce, 7 years after his death? And when he died, they worked together. She was not his widow. But this book is about Elvis's life. This book is about Elvis's life with Priscilla and family members, including the Memphis Mafia. And Elvis had nothing to do with it. Nothing. Not one syllable came from Elvis. Elvis, unfortunately, God rest his soul, had been long dead when this book had been written, when the concept of this book had been written. Now, this is what I say to you guys. Let me just read. I'll read this comment. Hi, Joy. She wrote that right after Elvis died. But many people, women, have come out with the revelations like she and Elvis were going to name their daughter if they married Lisa Marie. Thanks, Joy. But this book came out in 85. Yeah, is that right? Or was it 82? 85. Let's Google it. Let's get it. Let's get the years right. Is it going to say, actually? I'm sure it was 85. I'm sure it was 85. But when was Elvis and Me written? When was Elvis and Me written? Yeah, 85. It says here, Elvis and Me, the true story of love between... Oh, I have to laugh. Sorry, guys. The true story of love between Priscilla Presley and the King of Rock and Roll is a 1985 memoir written by Priscilla Presley, and Sandra Harmon helped her. So this is what I'm talking about. This was written in 85. Now, I know that there was a melodrama written in 88. So what are you referring, Joy, are you referring to the Kurt Russell film? Let's have a look. Kurt Russell. So we can learn together, guys. Let's see what year it comes up as. 79. So the Kurt Russell film was 1979. So the 80, I'm not sure what you're referring to in 82, Joy. Please, what was it called? Anyway, going back to what I was saying, that we've got a book here that the interviewers for the last 40 odd years, whatever it was, work out the years from 85 till now, have treated as historical. This has been treated as a historical book. Doesn't that worry you guys? That Priscilla can write a book, Priscilla Beulah, who took back the name Presley after Elvis died, even though she'd agreed to not use it again, and then writes it from the point of view of her. And unfortunately, this book, it's okay, Joy, it's fine. We're learning. Remember, we are learning together. We are learning together. That is a big part of this channel. Many of the things we are looking up and researching, we're doing together. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is, so someone comes along 11 years after a divorce and 7 years after the death, right, and writes a book that Elvis has nothing to do with it, but when she's being interviewed, this is treated like fact. So when she's being questioned by the interviewers, they are picking out questions based on things said in this book. They obviously mention her age, when they met. Now, even that they get wrong, because they talk about Elvis as if Priscilla and Elvis were a couple when she was 14, which they were not. Elvis and Priscilla were not a couple. Elvis had other girlfriends. He was seeing Anita Wood. He was seeing his secretary in the house in Germany, Stefan something. You guys can put me right on that. Is it Stefan something? Oh, I forget her name. Elvis had, and when Elvis returned back to Germany, back to America in 1960, he carried on seeing Anita Wood for a little bit longer, and then he started seeing other people. One of the first ones was Juliet Prowse of GI Blues. He was making more albums. He did the Frank Sinatra show, and there were other women. Yeah. So Elvis wasn't with Priscilla at 14, but this book says it was. How many times have you heard the term 14 years? I'm trying to work it out, guys. So they met when she was 14, and they were officially divorced by 1973, even though really it was a year before that. But let's just do it. So, so in 1959, let's round it off to make it easy maths. So in 1960, by 73, 14 years. Now, how many times have you guys heard an interviewer or read a book article or a Google clip that says Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley were married for 14 years. Unfortunately, Elvis was unfaithful and took drugs. So the marriage, they went their separate ways. Poor Priscilla, needed to find herself. So what is my point? This book is treated as if it is history. Why do the interviewers that interview Priscilla sit there and raise questions based on the things in this book? If this book isn't correct, if it's not historical, factual, if it's just from her point of view, we don't know what really happened. We weren't there. We don't even know if Elvis even kissed her, because many say that Elvis kissed Priscilla. Many say that Elvis kissed Priscilla when she was 14. It's even written in this book, isn't it? They go up to the bedroom. Elvis looks at her, gives her a little look, nods his head. Priscilla goes up the stairs first. They're in this house in Germany. Priscilla sneaks off, waits for him in his bedroom, and then Elvis waits a little while so that no one notices, which is impossible, right? And then he follows her up and they cuddle and kiss. Yeah? Isn't that what's in the book? Now, how do we know? How do we know that that happened? We don't know. No one knows. No one knows that they went up those stairs and went into that bedroom. No one. Remember how she words it. It was done in a way so people wouldn't notice. Remember, the house was full of people. Yeah, that German house was full of people, and there were crowds outside it in Germany. And there was a specific time they allowed for people to queue up for autographs. So I'm trying to make a point. Even in her own words, where she says, we did it secretly. We did it so that the Memphis Mafia would not notice. Yeah. We don't know. It's just here. I'm not saying they didn't kiss. I'm saying that everything in this book, there is doubt. Nadia, I know what you think. I'm very clear on your opinions on Priscilla and Elvis, and Priscilla and Elvis with young girls, but I can't tell people how to think. Right. So this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. If for the last 40 odd years, people have been questioning Priscilla based on what's written in this book, and everything in this book there is doubt, then have we been listening to a pack of lies for the last 50 years, nearly 50 years? Yeah, this is the big question. Now, I probably could pick out loads of things in this book. I could pick out the romance, I could pick out the engagement, the marriage, the pregnancy, the Memphis Mafia. I could pick out what happened with the parents, why the parents allowed Priscilla to move to America, and why they trusted Elvis. I could talk about that. But how much of it do we know even happened? We don't know any of it that may have happened, because this is a story. This is a fairy tale told from the point of view of Priscilla, the victim, Elvis, the bad guy. I personally think it's the other way around. I personally think Elvis was the victim and Priscilla was the bad guy. This is just my opinion. Right, Teresa, there is no reason to say anybody about Elvis. Elvis is wonderful. Thank you, Teresa. Let's have a look. Have I missed any comments? I'm trying to make a point, guys, that let's have a look. My message is going through. Yes, Linda, we're getting your messages. Can anyone let me know if I'm on? Yeah, Linda, you are definitely on. I've been getting all your messages on YouTube. Everything's fine. Are you okay, Linda? Hi, Chloe. So Nadia has said, now me and Nadia, we do disagree on certain things when it comes to Priscilla and Elvis, which is fine. Oh, yeah, that's right. Linda, it was Elizabeth Stefaniak. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, the messages were rushing past. We have Multi in. We've got Joy, Joshua. Just making sure we haven't missed anyone. Hi, Joshua, Stacy, Deborah. So, look, we're going to have slightly different views. I personally think a lot of what went on in Germany between Elvis and Priscilla when she was 14 was in Priscilla's head. I think she was so infatuated that she blew it up. She blew it out of proportion. This is my view. I think that when she met Elvis Presley, this superstar, the most famous man in the world, the most beautiful man in the world, that everyone was adored and the women were falling at his feet. I think that when she had this close friendship with him, which lasted between 3 and 5 months, we're not exactly sure how long, I think she was besotted with him. I think she knew very well that she was meeting a superstar and that she was in a long queue. There was a queue of women that wanted him. And he was seeing the secretary, and she knew he was seeing Anita Wood. So I personally think that a lot of the relationship that Priscilla discusses in this book, when she was so young, was in her mind. She was obsessed, in awe, starstruck. But the truth is, Elvis had this close friendship with Priscilla where they spoke about many things together. Again, this is in the book. They spoke about the loss of his mother, his worries about his movie career in the future, his worries if he would be forgotten, and that if Colonel Tom Parker was handling things so that everything would be fine when he came out. And he wanted to know that he could be taken seriously as an actor. So he'd already made a few movies. So he had high expectations there. He wanted to be in the same league as James Dean, Marlon Brando, and many other actors that Elvis looked up to. And but again, this is all in the book, isn't it? This is all in here. Now, if we had a book that was written by Elvis Presley, yeah, and I could hold it up. Elvis wrote this book, and there'll be thousands of facts. I could say Elvis said this, Elvis said that, and we'd all believe it, and it would be probably true. Even if the interviewers had a book that Elvis wrote, they could ask questions. Yeah, they could ask questions from the book that Elvis wrote, and then we could treat it as historic. We could treat it as if it actually happened. Now, we can't do that with this book. We cannot do it. I would say that this, let me just show you. I would say this book has more truth, Child Bride. And I'll tell you why. Because the person who wrote this book, Suzanne Finstad, Child Bride, did do a massive amount of research and had proper witnesses that did lie detectors. Lie detectors, yeah? So this book, Child Bride, let me put that one down. This book, Child Bride, is more likely to be true than the other one because this is a story. This is a woman who divorced Elvis, who was unfaithful twice, who gave him the cruelest divorce settlement you could ever dream of. Yeah? Who many of the public, many Elvis fans were unsure about Priscilla. They were very unsure when she was pursuing her own career, doing interviews. They were very unsure. Now, other people had brought out books as well. So then this book, when it came out, was treated like a historical event, like everything in it was true. And I can't think of anything more unfair than that. I cannot. Now, where are the witnesses? Where are the witnesses for this book? Where are the lie detectors? This book, the people took lie detectors. Yeah? This book, who took a lie detector? Nobody. So we don't really know what happened. I know that Nadia thinks that Elvis probably was slightly sexual with Priscilla based on how she's spoken about it in this book. We don't know that. How do we not know that Priscilla didn't exaggerate the things she was saying to try and get public sympathy, to try and make Elvis out to be a paedophile? Isn't it? Why not? If I found the right page, you know, she says things like, he rubbed up against me and he was so passionate. He made me feel things I've never felt before. Yeah? Come on. We know what's in this book. How do we know that happened? How do we know? None of us know. Have you girls ever had a crush on a man that didn't like you in the same way back, but you were crazy about him, infatuated with him, couldn't stop thinking about him, just wanted to be with him, couldn't bear not being with him? And if everything was exaggerated in your minds, this is my point, guys. I will read a couple of your comments. Let's have a look. Quickly, I don't want to go. I like to read your comments. The things she leaves out are interesting, yes, but no, Nadia. You should be more interested in the things that she is saying, because we don't know if the things that she is saying is true. What, Nadia, do you think the things she's saying are true? What is Priscilla trying to do? Is she trying to change public opinion, sway public opinion? Is she trying to paint Elvis out in a bad light? Is she trying to put him in a good light? There's game playing in this book. This book is I'll say it. This book is manipulative. It's manipulative. Now, here's me. It's 1985. I've fallen for the romance. I've fallen for the fairy tale. I grew up. Come on, let's do a story, guys, together. I grew up in the 50s. I watched the romance. Oh, who's that girl waving to Elvis at the airport as Elvis flies back to America? Oh, she only 14, was she? That's odd. Elvis is 24. Yeah? Now, I've been told, you're gonna find this quite interesting, guys. I've been told that really she didn't wave at Elvis at the airport and that it was all set up by the press. And that if you look at the buildings behind Priscilla, they are in different locations to where the aeroplane was. Yeah? Now, doesn't that make you think?
Yeah.
The press setting up Priscilla? Why were the press hot and all over that situation that day? Why were they even aware of her? Who told? No, you've got to be quiet. Shh, shh, shh. Sorry, guys, kids are. I love them, but I'm going to say this. Who told the press where Priscilla was? Who knew who Priscilla was? Because Priscilla was a secret as far as we're told. I've been told that she didn't really wave to him, that the waving that happened was all set up by the press, by the media. What do you think, guys? Can you prove me wrong? Were you there? So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that the reason Elvis fans are confused and upset and angry and have strong views and disagree with so much that has happened, so many different facts, so many different points, is because this isn't true. But the interviewers, the newspapers, the magazines, the TV clips, the biographies, the documentaries treat this as fact. Everything comes from this. Even the Kurt Russell film, even the film Elvis, the melodrama Elvis and Me, the TV melodrama that you can watch on YouTube now, even the latest film Priscilla and Me. Priscilla by Sofia Coppola. It's all based on this book. Now, I say this to Sofia Coppola. Sofia Coppola, if you ever watch me, why would you make a film based on a book that was written by Priscilla Presley and no one else had a say in it? The film you made, Sofia Coppola, your only witness to what was put in that film is Priscilla Presley. Has that ever happened before? Has it ever happened before where one woman, and I'm not being hateful, guys, I'm just trying to open our eyes. Has it ever happened before where one woman, with no witnesses, no statements, no documents, can write a whole book that covers all of Elvis's life to the day he died, from the day she met him? Actually, Priscilla even goes further back because she talks about his childhood. She actually talks about his childhood as if she was there. She talks about his mother. She never met his mother. His mother had passed away, God rest her soul. But you watch Priscilla in an interview. If you watch Priscilla in an interview, the interviewer talks about Gladys, lovely Gladys Presley. Oh, blah, 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 Gladys, Elvis was close to his mother. She'll talk about it. Priscilla will go, yes, she loved him so much. They were so close. He couldn't bear not being with her. He never got over the loss of his mother. She'll talk about Gladys as if they knew each other. Many of you think Gladys wouldn't have liked Priscilla. Many of you think that if Gladys had met Priscilla, they wouldn't be together, that Gladys wouldn't have allowed them to get married. I just want to check your comments, guys. So do you get what I'm trying to say to you? It's a bit Twilight Zone-y, isn't it? The Twilight Zone, yeah? That's what this is. Now, what I'd like to see is a book written by hundreds of witnesses that were there, that knew Elvis, that knew Priscilla, that knew the Memphis Mafia, that knew the family members, the staff, the cook, the people that looked after the stables, the people that went on holiday with them, the people that set up the Vegas tours, the people that were there on the film sets. Now, that'll be a good book, because at least then we've got some hope that it's near the truth. But no, the whole world has fallen for the book Elvis and Me that was just written by Priscilla Presley. Yeah, come on. Why are we so hoodwinked? Why have the press? Piers Morgan recently. Piers Morgan interviews Priscilla. Bearing in mind the film had not been long out. Lisa Marie had not long passed away, God rest her soul. And he spoke to her as if every single thing in this book was correct. He also spoke to her as if she was Elvis's widow, and we know she was never his widow. He also spoke to her as if she was always a Presley. Well, we know she gave up the name Presley, started using Bulow, but took the name back after he died. And he's there comparing Priscilla Presley to the Kennedys. What is that? What does that make any sense to you? He's talking to Priscilla Presley as if she was his wife when he died. He's talking to Priscilla as if Elvis was unfaithful and took drugs, and Priscilla did nothing wrong, and that she has protected his image and legacy and reputation since the day they met. When we know there was massive unfaithfulness during the marriage just after Lisa Marie was born. We also know that she went off with a karate instructor. So how is Priscilla getting away with it? Now, remember, I'm not being hateful, guys. We're just opening our eyes and trying to see things from a different point of view. Now, how has someone been able to get away with 40 years of not saying the correct truth? Getting away with 40 years of repeating the things in this book. How has she got away with it? And I can answer the question really simply, guys. The interviewers have been stupid. The interviewers have been stupid. The interviewers have been played. Played. You know, sometimes people use the word player. Yeah? They played into Priscilla's hands. They follow this. Most of them always ask the same questions. So Priscilla will sit there, very beautiful, beautiful hair, beautifully dressed, very sexy lady. Yeah. Like looking her best, confident. Because Priscilla, when she took the helm of Graceland, the Queen of Graceland, forget the king. We've got Queen Priscilla of Graceland. She couldn't believe that everything had fallen into place. So many factors had fallen into place. So many things happened. As horrible as it sounds, Vernon had died. And as soon as Vernon died, that was it. Queen Priscilla. You can see it in her eyes. You can see the cockiness in when she launches Graceland as a living museum. And she basically says to the world, I saved Graceland. It was my idea to do a museum, even though I've proved with my documents from my sources that it was never Priscilla's idea. She wasn't the person that prevented Graceland from being sold, even though she takes credit for it. She takes credit for the living museum. I can prove that it was already at hand before Vernon Presley was arranging it with many people. It was at hand. Morgan Maxfield, look him up, was involved. And he had a trainee called Jack Sodden who was also involved. Unfortunately, there was a plane crash. Morgan Maxfield, who was also engaged to Priscilla. That's another twist to the whole story. So how many of you knew that Priscilla was engaged in around 1980 to Morgan Maxfield? Look him up, guys. You'll have a surprise. There's a massive story behind that. I want to read some of your comments, and I'll carry on the points I'm trying to make. Right. So let's have a look. I would have believed Elvis kissed a 14-year-old. I refuse to believe it. Now, Linda, this is what I say to. He probably kissed her goodbye. He probably kissed her hello. Come on, how many people do that? She's visiting him, right? She's visiting him at the house in Germany. She's being taken there. I think, is it Cary Grant was taking them? Sometimes Elvis did. Sometimes Vernon. Yeah. So she would join the gang because there was loads of people in the house. Loads, dozens of people were in that house. Yeah. Remember, Elvis is 24 years old. He's partying. Yeah. Lots of girls, lots of men. So they struck up a close friendship. So you kiss hello, you kiss goodbye, you give each other a hug. Isn't that how people are? We don't know if there was a proper kiss that was a snog, a sexual kiss. We don't know. Now, she insinuates that there was, but we don't know. So remember, in our opinion, everything I'm saying to you now, guys, is opinion. We, in our opinion, believe, in our opinion, that many of the things in this book are not true. In our opinion, we think many of the things that are said in interviews are not true. Remember, we know that Priscilla was unfaithful in 1968 with Steve Peck, just after Lisa Marie was born. We know it. And the reason we know it, actually, I'm going to sound silly now. The reason we know it is because it's in this book, which really I'm contradicting myself, aren't I? Now, the Mike Stone affair is different. I can verify that in a different way without using this book, because I'm saying to you that this book has no credibility. So, okay, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. The reason we know about Mike Stone is because I'm going to jump forward. If you look at Mike Stone's interviews on YouTube, he clearly admits that Priscilla sought him out. They had an affair, a year-long affair behind Elvis Presley's back, and then it all came out. And by 1972, Priscilla was demanding a divorce. But we know that happened. We know Priscilla has admitted She even admitted it in the Barbara Walters interview that Priscilla had an affair with Mike Stone, and she secretly had an affair with Mike Stone for a year. She has admitted having an affair with Steve Peck, the dance instructor. She tries to belittle it, but she has admitted it. So we know that Priscilla lies. We've caught, us fans, we know that Priscilla can lie. Now, if we know that Priscilla can lie, what does it say about this book? How many lies are in this book? I'll take it another step. Priscilla in 1970, at the end of 71, Priscilla demanded a divorce. Elvis also wanted a divorce once he found out about Mike Stone. He went crazy. We know the story. We've said it a million times. Elvis went crazy and also wanted the divorce. They agreed to divorce, $100,000. I think they shared some money, some cars, a motorbike, a property. And she was down the road, running down the road, skipping with Lisa Marie and Mike Stone and bags of money. That's how I'm going to put it, from my opinion. Right? We know that. Now, here we go again. Me calling Priscilla a liar, in my opinion. Now, this divorce, she was not going to use the name Presley anymore. And the other thing was, she was never going to go back for a second divorce settlement. It was all agreed. Even if they got back together, she was allowed to keep everything. This was written into the divorce. Then I repeat my words because it's quite shocking. Even, this is in 1973 when it's all signed off. I think it was October. Even if they got back together, it was agreed that she can keep everything that he gave her. Now that's crazy. Who does that? Has a divorce. Oh, by the way, if we get back together, I'm keeping everything you've given me. Nah, 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 nah. And also, Elvis paid all the taxes. This is in the divorce settlement, guys. Elvis pays all the tax. Priscilla doesn't have to pay her own taxes. Come on, guys. Right, so I'm leading up to the lie. Right? So, I don't know why. I think it could have been something to do with Robert Kardashian. Many will disagree with me. He was a famous lawyer at the time, famous attorney at the time. She decides she's going back for a second divorce settlement. I don't know who the attorney was. I probably could look it up. Now this is the next lie. Yeah. Because she wasn't allowed to go back for a second divorce settlement. It is all signed and sealed. For her to go back for a second divorce settlement, she had to prove that there was wrongdoing by Elvis. She had to accuse him of fraud. She had to make a judge allow her to break the terms of the first divorce. Now, this second divorce. So, in my opinion, she had to lie. She had to lie to get her second divorce. Now, we know, guys, us here, subscribers, members, Elvis fans, we know that second divorce nearly killed Elvis and was still going on in 1977, the year of his death, the year the Memphis Mafia brought out their tell-all book that I think betrayed Elvis what happened. And Elvis was very, very unwell, chronically unwell. And Priscilla would have known how unwell Elvis was. How could she not have known? She was still speaking to him 2 days before he died. She's admitted this many times in interviews. She knew he was close to death, in my opinion. I have to say, everything I'm saying now is just an opinion. In my opinion, she lied, seriously lied, to get the second divorce settlement to be... So the first divorce settlement was broke. So to get the second divorce settlement, she had to lie to the judge who agreed there was fraud, that Elvis had hidden things from her, his income, the different properties he owned, the different cars, and there were many valuable items that Elvis owned that she said that he didn't tell her, even though she had lived in 3 of the houses. She said she didn't know about the 3 houses, that Elvis had hid it from her, even though she lived in them. And she got her way. She got her second divorce settlement. The second divorce settlement was something like, well, there's different versions of it. I've heard it was $750,000 plus $6,000 a month spousal payments, plus it could be either 5 or 10% of copyrights. Yeah, his percentage of the copyrights. She wanted 5 or 10%, and or I read somewhere that there was 2 lots of $750,000, as well as the spousal payments and a percentage of his copyrights. Yeah. So one thing I do know is Elvis couldn't afford it. It nearly drove him to bankruptcy. So they had to create a deed of trust, which allowed them to put a charge on the Graceland building, Elvis's home. We know how much he cherished the Graceland home. And this just would have infuriated Elvis and Vernon. They were going mad, pulling their hair out, because they couldn't believe that this woman with her attorney had maneuvered herself into a position of ownership of Gracelands. And the knock-on effects, I think, is why ultimately she achieved ultimate power of Graceland. Ultimate power. She owned everything. Yeah. Now, she, in my opinion, she had to lie to the judge using her attorney to break the second book, break the second divorce settlement. So if Priscilla is lying to achieve the second divorce settlement, which ultimately led to her being the owner of Graceland and everything in it, all the artifacts and memorabilia and land and you name it, cars, horses, lock, stock and barrel. She owned it all on behalf of Lisa Marie. So if she's lying all the way to the day Elvis died, because they were still arguing over it on the day he died, 2 days before he died, in my opinion, the last phone call they had, in my opinion, wasn't a lovely, sweet phone call. Oh, how's Lisa Marie? How are you doing? No, they were arguing about money. And I'll tell you why they were arguing about money, how I know that, because they were still trying to resolve the divorce settlement. They were still trying to sort things out. And Elvis was demanding that he sees Lisa Marie more often. Yeah, that was the conversation that they had 2 days before he died, in my opinion. It wasn't a sweet, how are you? I miss you. We're so close. We're really good friends. You're the love of my life. So if all of that is lies to get to the point of ultimate power, how much of this book is true? How much of this book is true? This book was written by Priscilla Presley. From her point of view, Elvis had no say in this book. I've just given you a list of things I think there's a possibility, in my opinion, that were lies. We know that she lied about the Mike Stone affair because it was kept a secret for a year. So it gives us all something to think about, doesn't it, guys? Serious stuff. And Elvis went through this. I'm just going to try and go through your comments. Elvis went through this. Could you imagine the poor man? My heart breaks because I know how good Elvis was, how decent he was, how lovely he was, generous and charming, and he always put himself second, and he just wanted to give away everything and help everyone. And he had to go through all these horrific things. I accept that in the early 60s, he had a lot of girlfriends. I also accept after Mike Stone, there were many girlfriends. But in the small time they had a marriage, so 67, May 67, till the birth of Lisa Marie, which was February the 1st, 68, he did his best to be a loyal husband and father. It was a very small period, but he did his best. Priscilla didn't do her best. Because as soon as the baby is born, within weeks, she's unfaithful. A couple of years later, they're living a fake marriage, and then Mike Stone comes along. But Elvis is the bad guy. Elvis is the paedophile, the rapist, the abuser, the groomer, the drug addict, binging on burgers. Come on, guys. So unfair. So wrong for such a beautiful, lovely man with a heart of gold, this beautiful essence that Elvis had, this spirit that touched everyone that got to know him, even from a distance. All of us have had our lives changed by Elvis Presley just because of knowing about him, listening to him, watching him, reading about him, watching his interviews, his movies, and the beautiful sounds that we listened to, that literally transformed our lives. Right. So I'm just going to go through some comments. So Chloe says, who could check what really happened in Germany? I don't think anybody can, because unless you were in that room, Priscilla can literally say what she wants, because there's no CCTV. She's got it sussed. And when the interviewers interview her, she just sits there with a big smile on her face, knowing that they're going to ask all the horrible questions. She doesn't even have to say it, because the interviewer will say it. It's mostly misunderstandings, Louis. Yeah, but what misunderstanding? Because I go by Elvis's actions. Yeah, I go by all the good that he did. And if you really put some time and effort into it, you're going to have a surprise, guys. Elvis did a lot of good. Like many things that Elvis did that were good were kept hush-hush. It's only years later that it's all come out. You think about it. You listen to all the celebrities that got close to him, the way they speak about him, how fondly they speak about him. You listen to all the girlfriends and Elvis, we know, had dozens of girlfriends, how well they speak of him. The only girl that, in my opinion, that has ever spoken negatively about Elvis is Priscilla. I can't think of anyone else. Seriously, I cannot think. You tell me, guys, someone who spoke negatively about Elvis, said he wasn't nice and kind and loving and caring and sensitive and gentle and funny. Come on, he wanted to read to them about religion and spirituality. He just wanted to stand there and read. And he wanted their company. He loved women's company. That's not an abusive man. He was searching for purpose and a reason for why he had the gift that he had. Why me, he would say. And in the end of the day, he decided that the reason he was given the gift was to help people. And if you listen to the speech, I'm trying to remember it now. Every dream I ever had. Yeah. I'll keep singing that song. That's what he's saying. He's saying, I know I'm here to bring happiness to the world, to the people. He knew that right till the end. Elvis knew that he was put on this earth to bring happiness to people, to human beings.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
Okay, I'm going to finish this thing first, and then I'm going to make something. I've only got 13 minutes left. It's my beautiful daughter. Right, let's try and go through these messages.
Can I have yogurt?
Yes, I heard other woman say he kissed. Oh my God! Right, Nadia, you and me we're on such different pages. Me and you, Nadia. Nadia, do you know what? I could get my phone. Right, try and do it quietly. Yeah. I could get my phone now, and I could put in the word. Give me information about Elvis Presley being a paedophile. And I will find 50 things saying it. These ridiculous write-ups that are written, these disgusting things that are written about Elvis that are not true. I could find them all day long. Nadia sent me one the other day. Now, I say this to you, yeah? Where are these people? Where are these people that are saying, I did have sex with Elvis when I was underage? Where are they? I want to know where they are. I'm on about sex now. They don't exist. So when I do come across these clips. The one that Nadia sent me, I'd already read it. Yeah. So I've read lots of stories about Elvis being touchy-uppy with underage girls. It's in here. Priscilla says it, doesn't she? but we don't know there's any truth to it. Now, if you look, if the way you're inclined in your mind is to believe the rubbish, the dirt, the crap, remember, as far as we're concerned, Elvis is a strung out druggie, isn't he? But then if we talk about Sally Hoddle's book, Destined to Die Young, and you really read it properly, we know damn well that Elvis was seriously ill and was forced to take medication because otherwise he was going to die. His liver, his lungs, his heart. He had bone cancer, glaucoma, twisted colon, serious constipation, insomnia. He had many of these illnesses when he was a child. He inherited a lot of this from his mother and his grandparents. But let's call him a drug addict. Let's keep everyone happy. Let's spend 40 years calling Elvis a drug addict. Are you getting my point, Nadia? We can call him a paedophile. We can call him a drug addict. We can call him a rapist. Because don't forget, Priscilla insinuated that he had raped her. Oh, let's just believe it, shall we? What I'm trying to say to you is that this is why we're called Defending Elvis Presley. Nadia, you need to get this. This is why we are called Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth, because most of it is crap. Most of the things are exaggerated and twisted. We together, Team Elvis, Elvis fans, subscribers, members, the people that take the time to do their research and try and find as much out as they can. A lot of it we're finding out through interviews, archive interviews. When you do the homework, you start to get to the truth. You get a real feel for Elvis. And I'm telling you now, if you want to judge Elvis and say that he was a pedo, a drug addict, a rapist, a groomer, a controller, you're on the wrong Facebook page. I mean, you're on the wrong YouTube channel, because we are here to defend against all of those lies. I passionately disbelieve all of it. Now, do I think Elvis was an angel? And do I think he was squeaky clean? No, I don't. He was not an angel. Do I think Elvis had lots of girlfriends? Yeah, he did. Of course he did. He was Elvis Presley. He was a superstar. He was the most beautiful man on the planet. The women fell at his feet. He only had to give them a glance and they were begging for him. So yeah, he had loads of girlfriends, but that doesn't make him a bad person. Now, when Elvis had medical problems and he needed serious medication in his late 30s, up until the day he died, did Elvis take strong medication, and was he addicted to them? Yeah, of course he was. He needed medication. You get addicted to your medication. Did Elvis Presley take sleeping tablets and sedatives and uppers? Yeah, he did. Was he addicted to them? Yeah, but he needed them. He couldn't sleep. Elvis could not sleep. Elvis could not go to the toilet. He was blocked up. He was in severe pain. Elvis's heart wasn't working properly. His liver wasn't clearing out the toxins properly. His constipation was twisted. His colon was twisted. He was in severe chronic pain. He didn't know what to do. He was desperate. So yeah, he took over 40 tablets a day, and he was addicted to a lot of them. Of course he was. What would you do? What would you do if you had a twisted colon, a funny heart, a liver that didn't work, you couldn't breathe properly, you couldn't go to the toilet, you couldn't sleep, you had massive migraines because of your glaucoma? I could go on. There's many other things. What would you do? I'll tell you what you would do. You go to your doctor and ask for tablets. What's the doctor going to do? He's going to go, oh my God, this man's suffering. I better give him some pills. So let's not call him a drug addict, because he was seriously, chronically unwell. Right. Remember, the name of this channel is Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. I passionately believe that many of the things said about Elvis are wrong. So does people like Rhonda and Shauna and many other channels. Elvis has been unfairly portrayed. Right. Without the Colonel, Elvis would not have been the big success that he had. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. JD, I don't agree. I actually think the Colonel did play a good part in catapulting Elvis from one level to another level in around 1950. At the end of 55, was it? They got together. Colonel Tom Parker took him from that level to that level, but any manager would have. Any manager. Elvis was oozing with talent and looks and style. So no, I don't agree that Colonel Tom Parker is the reason Elvis was so successful. I don't agree with that. I think he played a small role in it. I think any manager would have got him up there. Oh, hold on, Elvis. Let's have a look. Chloe, his pictures of the 1960s holding an Elvis record at the airport look like commercial pictures. Yeah. Thanks, Chloe. You're getting my point. We have been took advantage of as the public by the press. Things are staged and set up. Stacey, I think they kissed. I think they had a hug, hello, goodbye, and a hug. That's it. Elvis had a girlfriend in Germany. He was seeing the secretary. Linda told us. Elvis was still with Anita Wood. Elvis knew when he was going back to America, he was going back to other women. He wasn't hanging around for Priscilla. And don't forget, we are talking about the 1950s and 60s. Things were very different rules. I can see that, Cheryl, but in the middle of the child bride, and some accounts are making me annoyed, to be honest. I don't think Elvis was stupid. He knew the law on... Look, it's one of the things that does stand out about Priscilla is that she has consistently always said they never had sex. She has consistently always said that she wanted more, and Elvis always said no. It's in the book, but she hasn't just said it in the book. She said it in interviews. She has said it in interviews. I think the girl that he was seeing in Germany was over 20. And Margaret was, like you say, she was definitely a much older girl. If he never consummated with Anita and she slept in his bed, no way did he sleep with Priscilla when she was 14. He definitely did not. He did not sleep with Priscilla when she was 14. This has been proved because she has said it over and over again. Forget the book. She has said it. Elvis did so much for the world. You could learn a lot from Elvis. There is no reason to say anything bad about Elvis. No, I'm not going to accept that. Elvis was no angel. He was a man, a very virile, beautiful, talented superstar, and he had a lot of temptation, and he gave into temptation. That's okay. That's fine. Jade, Elvis and Priscilla had a history together. They had you'll be surprised just how short that history was, JD. And if you do your research properly, no offense, you're going to learn some things that are going to upset you because they didn't have a fairy tale relationship that everyone thinks they had. And Elvis wasn't to blame for all of the wrongdoing that happened between Priscilla and him. Hi, Tracy. You okay? Right. Chloe, yes. She says it in the book, doesn't she? If the book is true. We don't know that happened. Now, what does the word grooming actually mean? Yeah, because you think about it, guys. To me, grooming is almost like you are brainwashing an underage girl to have sex with you. But Elvis didn't do that. They never had sex. We know that she was very persistent and wanted to move to Gracelands, but Elvis never let her until she was nearly 18. And even then, he made her live with Vernon, and she carried on her education. Elvis still never had sex with her until the night of the wedding, May the 1st, 1967, when she was nearly 22. So where's the grooming? Where's the grooming, guys? Because if any of you think that Elvis dressed Priscilla and did her makeup, told her how to walk, dress, and act, and did her hair when she was nearly 18. You're in dream world. How many 18-year-olds get dressed by their boyfriend? Seriously. My daughter is nearly 18. She'd laugh her head off if her boyfriend tried to tell her how to dress, do her hair, do her makeup, how to walk, how to act. Come on, guys. Does anyone honestly believe that Elvis groomed or controlled Priscilla? No chance. No chance. Now, did he want her to stay home, look after the home? Yeah, he did. But didn't all men in the 1960s and 70s? Didn't all men want, especially if they had a child, do men want their woman to go out partying and nightclubbing when they've got a baby at home? Of course not. So, Chloe, Elvis was aware of what Jerry Lee Lewis did. Yeah, but she was 13 and she was his cousin. It's a different story. So, Nadia, I believe there's truth in it, but if you leave certain things out, it will change people's perception. I know you believe that there was truth in it, Nadia, but you and me are on opposite pages when it comes to what we think of Elvis Presley's friendship with Priscilla. You and me are on different pages when it comes to what I think Elvis did with girls. Because I personally don't think Elvis was interested in underage girls at all. Now, did Elvis have teenagers after him? Of course he did. He was a rock and roll star. Every single rock and roll star has teenagers after them, even now. If you're a rock and roll star now in 2024, you will be hounded by teenagers. It doesn't make you a pedophile, especially in the rock and roll days. They were chasing all the rock and roll stars down the road, guys. They were teenagers. The Beatles were chased down the road by teenagers. It didn't make them pedophiles. Elvis was aware of what happened to Jerry Liz. Right, okay, let's keep going. Nadia, she says that they were international and they let everyone think the rest. No one ever saw it. They were not. Well, I just say we don't really know, do we, Linda? We don't know. Right. Yes, Chloe. Colonel, I'm sure scared the pants of Elvis, telling him you make one misstep with a girl and your career is over. I can see that. I accept that, Cheryl. Yes, she gives a slight compliment about him and says things with innuendo to plant a bad image in your mind. Yes. Kelly Dan. Yes. Good comment. I like that. A very intelligent young lady, Priscilla Presley, in my opinion, Priscilla Bulow, wrote this book in a certain way to give, I'm going to read Kelly Dan's wording. She gives a slight compliment about him, then says things with innuendo to plant a bad image in your head. The reader, the public, this was a bestseller more than once. Kelly Dan, she's nailed it. Elvis was 24, more like 17, 18-year-old at heart. People said he was an innocent. Yeah, okay. What's your point? Nadia, you're still pushing for the whole, come on. He was a pedo, wasn't he? He liked little girls. That's what you're doing, Nadia. You know, I can't tell you how to think. Priscilla has always been a troublemaker. Well, there is good and bad, because I will say this. I want to be fair, right? When Priscilla first moved to Graceland, when she was just about to turn 18, in around 1963, Elvis had girlfriends. 63, 64, 65, some of 66. 4 years, Priscilla lived with Elvis and he had girlfriends. I hold my hands up to it. But they were not married. They had no children. Elvis was in his 20s. He classed himself as a single man. And was it cruel to Priscilla? Yeah. I accept it. I'm not going to whitewash Elvis. I won't do that. I'll be as honest as I can be. Elvis was making 2-3 movies a year through the 60s. And when he would go away with the Memphis Mafia on his bus and they would travel between the sets and Memphis, they were up to no good. And the Memphis Mafia were up to no good. I accept it. But not when he got engaged and not when he got married. Now, after he caught Priscilla being unfaithful with Steve Pett, the dance instructor, yeah, Elvis was up to no good again. But she had betrayed him, which is why he wouldn't sleep with her. Anyone that believes that Elvis won't sleep with a woman that's had a child is stupid, because it's not true. It's just rubbish. Of course Elvis slept with a woman that has had a child. It's a ridiculous thing to believe. But the public for 40 years have been told that Elvis would not sleep with a woman that's had a child, and they believe it. Why? Elvis wouldn't sleep. Hi, James. Elvis wouldn't sleep with a woman that's had a child that's been unfaithful to him. Let's get it right. Why won't you sleep with Priscilla, Elvis? Because she was with another man, Louis. Pretty simple, isn't it, guys? Would you sleep? If there's any men on here, James is a man. Hi, James. How's it going? Would you sleep with a woman? No, I'll try and say it in a respectful way. If you had a girlfriend that had your baby and she slept with somebody, would you still want to sleep with her? Come on, guys. Every man will say no, but then it's twisted and turned into, oh, he won't sleep with a woman once they've had a child. It's ridiculous. Who even started that rumor? I can guess who, but Tracy, because her mother was... All right, let's have a look. Let's go back. I want to answer your questions, guys. I don't, and I'm going to disagree with people that are saying things that I don't agree with. Nadia, 100%, we're on different pages. I'm sorry, Nadia, no disrespect, but we have got different views about Elvis. Right. Well, Nadia, you're wrong. Elvis was very popular at school. He started off unpopular at school, but once he started singing in front of his school, the people in his school, he became super popular. So that isn't correct. It's 50-50. Yeah, people thought he was a bit odd, but once they could see that he did know how to sing, things changed for Elvis. Let's have a look. I just want to... All right, I didn't know this. Shauna's with us. Sorry, Shauna, I didn't even know you were watching. Shauna, how are you? Sorry, I've missed these messages. Right, I want to read Shauna's messages because it's important to me. When Shauna joins us, I want to make a big thing of it because I'm so pleased that she joins us. It's really good for us. And we all love Shauna. Shauna, you know we all love you. Let's have a look. Right, hi James. I love it when James joins. James, my friend. Right, okay. I've missed a lot of comments here, haven't I, guys? Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's because I've been talking too much. I'm sorry I've been talking too much. Right, God, I really have missed a lot of comments. Right, okay. I can't believe I've missed so many comments. Let me just get to a point where... Right, I'm going to start with Shauna's biggest comment. He had videos and photos of Elvis, and right before he was about to sell them for rainy days, Prissy and Jack Soden sued Joe for all of it. That was supposed to be his retirement, but he sued them. Okay. He told Jerry S. to give all the cash he had to returning Vietnam and vet and the airport. Right, I'm sorry, I've missed something here. So let's have a look. Let's see what I've missed. I'm really sorry, guys. I've got to backtrack. You guys have obviously started talking about something, and I don't know why I didn't see it. Sorry, I was probably in my own little... listening to my own voice too much. I like the sound of my voice too much. Right, here we go. Let's go from this one. Elvis wasn't the love of her life. His money is the love of her life. James says her and the Memphis Mafia made 76 and 77 awful. I agree. I think his last year of life was hell because of the divorce, the Memphis Mafia book, and his health, his chronic illnesses. Right, let's have a look. Yvette, yes, I sing that. Yvette, yes, I sing that laugh out loud. Now, I can't see Yvette's comments. Where have I missed your comment, Yvette? Ah. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, your comment. Yeah, I've heard Shauna singing many times. Well, the funniest thing that to me with Shauna is when she impersonates Priscilla. I find it hilarious. Prissy. I can't even do it. Prissy. I'll let you do it, Shauna. Right, let's have a look. His first attorney and his deposit should have carried some weight, and they knew everything. So you must have been saying these comments when I was talking about the divorce and the second divorce, where Priscilla lied to get the first divorce broke, in my opinion. All right, Nadia, Elvis asked her if she would reconsider, but she went with Mike Stone. She didn't want back, and Elvis, after a quarrel with Mike, Elvis told her not to take that for granted. Yeah, we know this story. Thank you. Prissy is a user. She uses you and gets what she wants, and then she forgets about you. Unfortunately, there is a pattern. Now, I've done some videos of Priscilla's 20 different boyfriends. I've gone through each one and scrutinized them. And unfortunately, in my opinion, and in Shauna's opinion, there is some truth to what she's saying. We love our Margaret Teresa. Billy Smith on his show said Elvis tried his best to be a good husband. I think he did once she got pregnant after the engagement, that little short time before she had the affair with Steve Peck. I do think Elvis tried. Now, do I think Elvis was going to stay faithful? Probably not. But I do think in that little gap, he tried. Priscilla was introduced to Robert Kardashian by Joan Esposito. I didn't know that. Thank you, Tracy. I know Joe Esposito's wife. I've seen some interviews with her. Right, so Joan had remarried to Robert Kardashian's brother. Things that make you go, I just suspect that Robert Kardashian put the idea in Priscilla's head to go for a second divorce, but I don't know that. I just linked the years together. It was around that time that she got with Robert Kardashian. So that's why I say that. I could be wrong. I'm sure other people are watching this that can put me right. I'm right. Yes, there's a so my son's all right. Let me shut the door a minute. All right. My sons must be home. Sorry about that, guys. I think my son just came home. Right, I want to try and get through these comments. Let's have a look. Right, she took advantage of his kind heart. Unfortunately, many did. Tender loving, Elvis Shauna. She's good at that. Then we've got Chloe, I believe. It was around 1975, 1976. Elvis was so generous. He was too generous. Thanks, James. He was too generous. Come on. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone ever that was generous the way Elvis was. He literally gave away everything. Now, I want to do some videos on Joe Esposito because I don't know enough about him, and I keep hearing some quite negative things about Joe. Many people have told me that Joe could be quite rude, could be quite arrogant. Is this true? Let's have a look. I'm skipping through it a bit. Deborah till Prissy sued Joe Esposito. Right, so I didn't know Priscilla had sued Joe Esposito. I'm guessing, is this for gifts that Elvis had given him? Please let me know, Shauna. Priscilla is such a liar, sweet but boring. Right, let's have a look. Let me just skip through. Poor E, he didn't see Prissy coming. Devil in disguise, that's what I say. Right, CKC. Louis and Shauna, can you interview Johnny Lang and Elizabeth Stefaniak? They were in Germany. CKC, I've never interviewed anyone in my life, but I would. I'm up for anything. Guys back 14 was grown up many. I know in the 50s and 60s, it was very common for a man in his 20s to marry a teenager, but maybe not as young as 14, but 16, 17, 80s. Come on, a lot of the rock and roll songs would sing about teenagers, wouldn't they? She was only 16. Yeah, it was different times. We don't agree with it now. I wouldn't want my 17-year-old daughter to marry a 25-year-old man now, but in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, even the 80s, it was quite common for a man to have a girlfriend that was quite sweet and innocent, because a man didn't want to get with a girl that had slept around. Different times, guys. We think differently now. Right. Why did she sue? Yeah, that's an interesting question, Chloe. I'm interested to know the answer to that. Why Priscilla sued Joe Esposito? I know many of you think she's a gold digger. Hi, Diana. Hope you're well. Diana is our newest member. Diana, thank you for becoming a member. Love it. It means so much to me. I couldn't believe that she went to Joe E's funeral service. I couldn't believe that she went to Joe. You mean Priscilla went to Joe Esposito's funeral service? Because I've watched that funeral service. It's on YouTube, isn't it? Sheila Ryan is an old clip I just saw. She said that she was paranoid about getting girls pregnant and that interfered with the lovemaking. Okay, I know about Sheila Ryan, but I'm not really sure about that comment. Let's have a look. James, he told Jerry Schilling to give all the cash that he had to a returning Vietnam vet at the airport. Elvis was the best. I know about that story. Thanks. Right, I know what you're on about now. I've read about that story. Thank you, James. He had so Shauna, he had videos and photos of Elvis, and right before he was about to sell them for the rainy day, Prissy and Jack Sodden sued Joe for them, and they were supposed to be his retirement, but they sued him. Right, are these the pictures that show them basically taking pictures of them semi-naked? Are these the ones? And isn't this mentioned in the Priscilla movie, Sofia Coppola's movie? She said that, but come on, guys, I don't want it to sound fruity, but isn't it common that couples that are in love behind closed doors, take pictures of each other or phone video each other? Isn't that what lovers do sometimes? I would never do that, but you get what I'm saying, guys. Come on, we're all human. Priscilla never discusses his medical issues, which necessitates the prescribed medication. Tracy, now that is a good comment. When Priscilla is being interviewed, and I've said this to you guys, that the interviewer leads the way. Were you only 14? Did he have a bad temper? Was he unfaithful to you? Yeah. Did he leave you alone in Graceland? Did he tell you how to dress? Did he tell you how to do your hair? Priscilla's the clever one. She lets the interviewer do the damage. Boom. The interviewer is throwing the bombs. And Priscilla's just sat there going, "Oh, I love you. He's the love of my life. I still love him." Yeah, she's a very clever lady. She manipulates the interviewer. She always has. I've even seen a video of Navarone, Priscilla's son Navarone, boasting that his mother would boast how she would play with the interviewers in the palm of her hand. They would play into her little game. Linda, thank you. I still haven't seen one underage girl come forward and prove that Elvis had sex with an underage girl. Not even one. I've seen stupid documentaries like the one on Prime that are just ridiculous. It's so obvious they were paid off. Yeah, I've never had a woman and say, yes, this is the proof. It happened. He should be in jail. Never. Not even one. Elvis gave Joe Esposito a camera as a birthday present, so Joe started to make home movies to suit him because she claimed... Right, okay. Right, I know about the home movies. I've seen them. They're all over YouTube, aren't they? I am chilled, but Nadia, I do get irritated by some of your comments because I don't think you see Elvis in the way I do. So yes, you're going to get a reaction from me. I personally think that Nadia thinks Elvis liked girls that were underage. I don't agree with you. So you're going to get a reaction from me, Nadia. But I will never tell you how to think. If that's what you think, that's your right. I respect that. I respect anyone's right to have their own opinion, but don't expect me not to give you a backlash. That's why this is called Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth, because I am going to disagree with people that say things that I think are unfair to Elvis. And sometimes I say that they're actually cruel to Elvis, some of the things that people think. I've never called you stupid, Nadia, but I think you're wrong in your opinions, but I can't tell you how to think. Right. No, Joe was going to sell the videos he made of Elvis, but Prissy and Jack Sodden took Joe to court and took them all. I didn't know that, Shauna. Cheryl, Louis, I agree with Nadia. That's fine. That's completely fine. Guys, come on. I'm never going to tell you what to think. But I will disagree. If I'm just going to sit here and agree with everyone, go, yes, you're right, everything you say is right, what's the point? I'm going to disagree with people if I have a different opinion. I'm not fake, yeah? If I disagree with you, I'm going to tell you, but I'll do it politely. Kelly's like, maybe she doesn't speak about him taking pills because she would have to admit it was a medical reason, therefore debunking. She left him partly due to drug taking. Kelly, Kelly Dan, it's obvious that there was a problem with the medication. He did take, in my opinion, way too many. But you have to understand the pain he was in, the discomfort he was in. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't go to the toilet. His whole body wasn't working properly. He was a desperate man. And when people are desperate, what do? Even me. If I have a headache and it's unbearable, if I have a migraine headache and I can't even think straight, what do? I run to the cupboard and grab a handful of painkillers. I'll do anything to get rid of the headache. Well, times that by 100. This is how Elvis was. He was so desperate. He was shoveling those pills down his neck because he was in so much pain. I think most people would do it. I think most people that were in that kind of unbearable discomfort and pain and couldn't sleep, that were expected to do 2 to 3 concerts a day in Vegas, would have done that. That's my opinion with the medication, guys. Yes, Cheryl, but she said in 1976 when she married James Caan, we're talking about, aren't we? She knew since 18 months that she would marry Caan. I don't trust her. Yeah, and I know about James Caan and what's her name, Sheila Ryan, and yeah, I do think James Caan was always the one, wasn't he? He was the one she preferred, in my opinion. But I feel sorry for her. She died of cancer, didn't she? She had quite a young death, and that's not nice. He even told Sonny West he needed his meds because he was in chronic pain. Thank you, James. I think the kind of pain that Elvis had was unbearable. And you imagine not being able to go to the toilet. Don't forget, that is what killed him, isn't it? Him straining caused a heart attack. Am I right? Could you imagine the pain of that? People need to realize that Elvis could not function day to day without his medication. Yes, Tracy. He needed his medication. He needed it. They even say that he couldn't, that it might have extended his life. They say that. Some say that if he didn't take his medication, he wouldn't have been able to get through the day. He would have died. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying. I think Dr. Nick had an impossible task. An impossible task. He inherited a very unwell man. Right. A very desperate man as well. I do too. In the beginning, yes, but later, no. Did Elvis like young girls because they had no sexual expectations? My God, you won't let it go. You will not, Nadia, you will not let it go. You don't know that he liked young girls. I want to see some proof. Nadia, come on. One of the subscribers said this to me once. If anyone says anything to you that you don't agree with, I think it was Stacy. Stacy, are you still there? If anyone says something to you that you don't agree with, say one thing to them. And I said, oh yeah, what's that? And she said, prove it. Nadia, prove it. Come on. You obviously think Elvis liked young girls. I would like to see some proof. And I say that respectfully. Parker ripped him off. Well, we've got strong views about Colonel Tom Parker, but that's for another video. That's the name of our Facebook group as well, Louis, which I started. I don't really know what you mean by that, but thanks for starting it. It's not hard. It takes about 10 minutes to type in some words. Let's have a look. I love our Facebook group. I think it's great. Well, on that point, I believe him. Nadia, he felt attracted to young girls, to young women, not girls. Yeah, of course he did. But they're women. They're not children. Right. Chloe, Sonny was to be degree. Yes. Sonny was. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't get that comment. Louis, stop it. He gave her a peck on the lips. There was tongues involved. I don't know, Cheryl. That's what I was trying to say to you about the book. We don't know what happened. Cheryl, you say that he did not give her a peck on the lip, just give her a peck on the lip. I don't know. Really don't know. Remember, there was many other people there. There was many people in that house, so I can't, unless I was there, unless you were there, we can't know, can we? Anita Wood, Linda Thompson, Sheila Ryan, Joyce Bober, Ginger Olden, all these ladies were well over age and of consent and not underage. Yes. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy, thank you. I appreciate that comment, Tracy. Linda, that's true. The one thing I'm glad she has stuck to, no sex before the wedding night. Yes, and this has been repeated in interviews over and over again. Elvis needed a new manager after 1968. Shauna, I completely agree. I completely agree that Elvis outgrew Colonel Tom Parker. 100%. Thank you, Shauna. He had a girlfriend in Germany too. Yeah, he did. We know that. And he had a girlfriend back home because he was still with Anita Wood. And she was lovely. I really like Anita Wood. Thank you, Shauna, for confirming that. I appreciate that. Welcome back, Elvis Presley. We don't really know how many different girls Elvis was seeing in Germany, really, do we? No one really knows. Don't forget, they were queuing up outside his house. He had 3 girlfriends in Germany, what I've read. There we are. Linda has read things. So, yeah, it's very possible. I think you're onto something with that line of right. Elvis got around. Yeah, Elvis loved the ladies. I totally agree that Elvis, from the mid-50s, right up until the day he got engaged, so December 1966, had loads of girlfriends. And wouldn't you? If you were a beautiful man, a talented man, that the most beautiful women in the world were falling at your feet, what would you do? I know what I would do. If I didn't have children and I wasn't married, I tell you what, I'd have fun. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing at all. He was a human being, not a blooming donkey. Elvis needs to get rid of his Parker. Frank always wanted to help Elvis. Linda, that is one side of the story she has stuck with all the time. So it must be true that no sex till the wedding. I think so. But even that, we don't really know, do we? But it seems like it's likely, but not definite. Because this is a fairy tale, in my opinion. He was too attractive, Chloe. Come on. He didn't sleep with 14-year-old girls. Yay! Nadia! I'm going to give you a medal. Can I find you a medal? Let's find Nadia a medal. I've got some around here somewhere. I'm going to find you a medal, Nadia. There we are. A medal for you, Nadia. Congratulations. He didn't sleep with 14-year-old girls. This is your medal. I'll put it here for you. Look, on the book. He did have other girls in Germany, older ladies. Yes, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. Right. It's all about research, don't you think, guys? Let's have a look. Elvis didn't know what hit him. Unpopular at school. And, well, I know he was unpopular when he was younger. But after when they realized that he could sing, he was extremely popular. Diana, Prissy was a brat. My newest member. How are you going, Diana? When did she really stay at Graceland? Well, as far as we know, she moved there just before she turned 18. Does everyone agree with that? Because I'm not 100%. Obviously, I know she went there holidaying a few times when she was 17. Yeah, do we agree with that? But, I'm no expert, guys. I'm not the guru of Elvis. I'm trying to repeat the things I remember. That's all. I definitely get it wrong sometimes. Definitely. Nadia, what the hell? He said in an interview, I was no ladies' man or something like that. Then millions of girls want you overnight. She said she liked dressing like that. Yes, James, I have seen interviews where Priscilla admits she loved the beehive hair, she loved the dark makeup, and she loved the dresses because it made her feel sophisticated. Her own words. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla went to Graceland when she was nearly 18. She did go before then. She had a few holidays, one at Christmas, and I think in the summer, the other one. I think at least twice when she was 17. You can put me right, guys, if I'm wrong. It was Priscilla's mum who dressed her young teenage daughter. She let her borrow her clothes to wear so she would appear older. Yeah, they used to have these beauty contests. Isn't that in the book Child Bride? I think it's mentioned a bit in the Elvis and Me book as well. Right, let's have a look. Because there was some kind of rivalry, wasn't there, between her and her best friend when they did these like beauty contests. Is it like prom queen, that kind of stuff? Yeah. I believe she lied about everything apart from that he definitely wanted his future wife to be untouched. And that's just the way he was brought up. And it was Linda, it was very common in this, a lot of you guys on this, a lot of you subscribers and Elvis fans know that in the 50s and 60s, it was very, very common for a man in his 20s to marry a teenager. It was very, very common. We're in completely different times. Now, when I say teenagers, I don't mean 13, 14. I mean 16, 17, 18. If anything, if you weren't married by the time you were 21 in the 50s and 60s, you were on the shelf. Maybe even younger. Maybe by the time you were 18, you were on the shelf. Is this true? Please let me know if this is true. Tracy, because her mother was the same with P's father. I think she was 15 and father was 20 or 21. Right, okay. I don't really know about that. I agree, Linda. I agree. Chloe. I think okay. I believe he gradually moved into Graceland from Vernon. I believe she gradually moved into Graceland from Vernon's. Yes, I agree with that. But she was nearly 18, so I don't see what the problem is. Diana, she was 14 and 4 months old, almost 15, when EP went back to the States. Yeah, and don't forget, he only knew her for 3 to 5 months. They were just close friends. Yeah, he had his whole world set up for him. Elvis knew exactly what he was going back to in 1960. He knew it was the Frank Sinatra special, the filming of GI Blues, and 3 RCA albums. One of them was a coming home album, and the Frank Sinatra show was a coming home show. And Nancy Sinatra met Elvis and gave him a silk shirt from Frank Sinatra as a gift. Elvis didn't know she was a virgin when he married her. When he left Germany, he asked her to stay in, as he did. But the big thing is, was she a virgin? Because Child Bride says that she wasn't. We don't know. That would mean it was her own mum that groomed her. that is said in the book Child Bride. That's Tracy Heenan. So Deborah's so true. James, Elvis was her lottery ticket, and many of you think that. Many of you think that Elvis was her ATM machine, her cash cow. Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look. Let's keep going. Am I saying is that there are some girls saying in interviews that they kissed? I am not saying that is true or not. And I'm saying that if you Google it, you will always find plenty of girls saying stuff. Always. Doesn't mean it's true. My God, the amount of things you can find on Google, if you really want to, you'll be very surprised about any celebrity. The dogs are trying to come in. Right, the dogs. Right, let's have a look. Nadia, respectfully, it wasn't just teenage girls at the gate. There was of all ages. Of course there was. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. I am saying is that there are some, we've read that one. Of course, Tracy. He liked young women as should not young girls or children. Yeah, Nat. Hi, Nat TV 22. Helen. Elvis definitely had fun. All accounts in Elvis definitely had fun by all accounts in Germany. Yeah. Helen, he was partying, baby. Look, James, I love Nadia. Nadia is amazing, but I disagree with her as well. I disagree with her. We're on different pages when it comes to Elvis's views on young underage girls. We think differently, me and Nadia. Now, that doesn't mean I've got a problem with her. Nadia disagrees with me all the time. That's fine. I actually find it quite funny. But don't forget, Nadia, I've got your medal here. That's Jane. Who wouldn't kiss him if they had the chance? That's true. Yeah, we do love you, Nadia. Don't worry. Deborah loves you as well. Thanks, James. That's right, James. You most welcome. Nadia, you make me want to be sarcastic. Let's have a look. If I got the chance to kiss Elvis, I would not let go, laugh out loud. Deborah, are you being naughty again? I'm good. Thanks for asking, sir. Hi, Diana. Tracy Heenan. I've never believed that once he reached his 30s that he was overly sexed up. I think he just loved attraction and butterflies of initial relationships. Then after a while, he got bored. I think you're probably right, Tracy. I think you've summed him up quite well. And isn't it now well known as he got older, he just wanted to sit with these girls because he got lonely. And he liked to read to them about his religions, different religions, and spirituality. And he just loved their company. It wasn't about sex. Nadia, you make me tear up. Right, and I was 15 when I seen him on the streets of Memphis. Woo, what a hottie. Deborah, you are so cheeky. Mary, Nadia, of course he kissed people at the gate. He kissed older women. It was part of the reason Parker marketed him that way. He had a photographer follow him all the time. I wish I was there. Mary, behave. Patricia loves you as well, Nadia. Helen, to be fair and honest, if I was there in Germany and had a chance, I would love to. Girls, you have to behave. Behave. You're older now. Things have changed. Jane Elvis Presley. Hello, Jane. The best ever. In the 1969s, you had hair like that. My mum did. Yeah, she liked her hair like that. Kelly Dan. Yes, that is almost my opinion on the pills. He had a need for them, but believe she could have twisted this to her advantage and to make him out using them for other reasons. Yeah, I agree with it. See, Kelly Dan, And the Memphis Mafia did this as well. They didn't talk about the fact that he was chronically unwell. They spoke about him as if he took the pills to get stoned, to get high on painkillers, and to sedate himself so much that he was floating. They didn't say Elvis needed it. Elvis was chronically ill. He had a twisted colon. He couldn't go to the toilet. Now, I have heard that Elvis was a very proud man and hid many of his illnesses from the Memphis Mafia, from his girlfriends. He didn't want them to know how unwell he was. I have heard that. I've read that a few times. So Nicolette, yeah. So 22, you were on the shelf. See, it was different times. Even me, and I grew up through the 70s and 80s. I remember that generally by 21, you were done. You were like married, engaged, having a baby. And that was me growing up in the 70s. So now, I think a woman now still looks great. Even a woman now, 40, 50, and 60, they still look hot. It's just different times, isn't it? Even 70 guys. My mother was 25 when she married the first time, and she was considered old. Yeah, and I remember that now. I remember 25 for a girl being old. I would now look at a 25-year-old, it's too young. It's just things have changed. Me too. Even now at my age, if I got the chance. Yeah, Jane, come on. We like that. You'll get the chance. Don't you worry. Mary, yes, I was married by 18 and my sister 17. Yeah, because it was normal back then. Completely normal. Tracy, we've got a lot of comments tonight, guys. I'm like, you're going for it tonight. Let's have a look. Sorry, it just keeps jumping up. Let's have a look. Right, we're getting there. So, what female on the planet would have refused a kiss from him? Those lips. Woohoo! Tracy Heenan. Naughty, naughty. Helen Murray. Yes, Tracy, I definitely would have given in. You girls, are your husbands with you? Do they know you're saying all these things, girls? James McCarthy. Nadia, I need some tips. Where to visit in Switzerland. I'm originally from Finlandia. That's interesting, James. You never told me that. Very interesting. Nat, Tracy Heenan, the guy had women coming his way all the time. He certainly did. Deborah, heck yeah. He wouldn't come up for air. Oh my God, you girls, you make me laugh. It is very sad what happens to Elvis in his life. Frank want to help Elvis. Thanks, Teresa. Deborah, you actually got to kiss him? That's a good question. That's from Tracy. Linda, I think we all would have loved to get with Elvis, but I don't think he would have wanted just to get with many teenagers. I just will not accept that, but I would have, but he wasn't like that. Yeah, so you're basically saying if you were underage and Elvis would have gone along with it, you would have allowed him. You're saying that. Is that what you're saying, Linda? That's very naughty. I'm going to tell your parents. Right. Cheryl, wait, I just come back in. Deborah, Elvis kissed you. Wait, I just come back in. Deborah, Elvis kissed you. Right, okay. So, did Elvis kiss Deborah? Is this the question? Deborah, were you kissed by Elvis? James, German, French, Italian, and Rummaged part. Right, let's have a look. No, I didn't, but at 15, I sure would have. I'm not surprised, Deborah, that you would have kissed Elvis at 15. You're a very naughty young girl. Right. James, any part would be fantastic. Right. He's talking to Nadia. Right. So he most certainly has been my hall pass. He most certainly have been my hall pass. Always wanted to go. Right. Well, okay. Elvis was sick when he was very, very poorly. Elvis's female that came across way all how respectfully he was towards them. He respected his fans too much to be ungentlemanly with them. Yes, Tracy, I love that comment. Elvis was a perfect gentleman. And there are dozens of witnesses, ex-girlfriends, that will say that again and again, again and again. He was, let's just say it again. He respected his fans too much to be ungentlemanly with them. He was a perfect gentleman. I seen it on the streets in Memphis. My uncle lived across the street from Vernon. You're so lucky, Deborah. Elvis does not have to prove anything to anybody. Fair enough, Teresa. Linda, we can have a debate. It's nothing personal to anyone. Nadia, please don't get emotional. We all in the same page. You're saying what you think. Nothing wrong with that. I agree. Nadia's entitled to have her opinions, just like we all are together. But it doesn't mean I'm going to agree with it, and I will react. Yeah. If something is said that I think is not fair to Elvis, I'm going to defend him. That's the name of this channel. Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. It doesn't have to be Nadia, does it? It could be anyone. If I can't speak the truth on how I feel, then I think it makes me a bit of a fake. I got married on my 18th birthday. Yvette, well done, Yvette. Well done. Stacey, me too, Yvette. Oh, both of you got married on your 18th birthday. So congratulations, Stacey. Deborah, my uncle wouldn't let me go down the gate. Maybe old Louis, but I'm not dead yet. Nah, you're not old, Deborah. We're on a special diet, Deborah. We're on the keto diet. You're getting younger. Remember that. Every day you will get younger if you stick to it. No cakes, no bread, no sugar. Deborah, were you good today? What's up, Linda? Sometimes I also say what other people said. This is not an opinion, only facts. Right, Linda. Sometimes I also say what other people have said. That is not an opinion, only fact. So I'm a bit confused. I also say what other people have said. Now, just because other people have said things doesn't make it an opinion, doesn't make it a fact. It just makes it what other people have said. That's how I see that. Yeah, go Deborah. Go Deborah. We like it. You're a little minx. Let's have a look. Sorry, it keeps jumping up. It's blooming annoying. Where are we? Charlie said that he took drugs because he was ill. Yeah, and I've seen Charlie Hodges' interviews. They're brilliant. And they clearly explain his drug addiction, even the bone cancer. We've all seen that, I think, where Charlie says, and about his hypertension, high blood pressure. Charlie does a good job of explaining the different ailments that Elvis had. Charlie is one of my favorite Memphis Mafia members. So is Larry Geller. So is Billy Smith. Naja, I know what you're saying. I mean, with love, Naja. Right. I got married at 18, almost 19 in 1988. That's Stacey. My aunt married at 17 to a man who was older by 14 years. No one thought anything of it. Changed. Right, okay. Because it was different days. Stacey was young for 88. I was 24 in 1992. That's Cheryl. I'd say by 25 in the 80s. Yeah. By 25 in the 80s, you were classed as being on the shelf. I remember that. Mine is sitting right here with me now. Yay, Deborah. We like that. I was just going to say that, Cheryl. Right. Clayton Arts. I'm a man, but I still admit Elvis was very good looking. Yeah. So do I. Fair play to you, Clayton. He was bloody good looking. Helen Murray. Yes, Tracy. My mother was 17 in 1954 and my dad was 31 when they married. See, because it was different in those days. Do you know what? If you were around in 1954 and you would have thought nothing wrong about the 31-year-old man marrying that 17-year-old girl, because it was very normal. Now, we know that now we wouldn't like that, would we? Now we wouldn't like that. Oh, he's your high school sweetheart. We're still going strong. Oh, well done, Stacey. That's beautiful. Really happy for you. Linda Cudden, Clayton, he was beautiful. Teresa, Elvis should have sent her back. So Deborah, if I could have gone to that gate, I sure would have kissed him. And I think all the girls would have. You know, remember, a kiss is a kiss. It's a peck in it. Even if Elvis did kiss the girls at the gates, he wouldn't snog them. He wouldn't stick his tongue down their throat. He'd just give them a kiss. It's fine. I remember when I was a DJ, the girls all used to try and kiss me. I didn't stick my tongue down their throats. I would just give them a peck. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Louis, too. Right, so that's Linda. At the Graceland Gate or in Germany, Elvis. Right, James, visit the county of Wallace, full of mountains, over 3,000 meters, glacier of Matterhorn. A kiss is just a kiss. Chill out. Yeah, it's just a kiss, a peck, man. Cheryl, Stacey understood. I probably would have married my HS at the age 2, but we broke up. Oh, that's sad. Right. Let's have a look. See that it just done it again, it just jumped up again. I click it and it just suddenly jumps up. So I had my first child at 25. This is Jane, and that was classed as an old mum. Yeah, it was different. Just watch That's the Way It Is video when he's in the audience kissing the fans. Even grannies were asking him to kiss their granddaughters. Yeah. It's just a kiss, isn't it? It's just a kiss. He's not snogging them. He wasn't groping them. I have to write that down, Nadia. Right. Cheryl. Yes, Tracy. I love the one when he goes to the lady, you want to get serious. Yeah. Yeah. But he didn't grope them. He didn't molest them, start grabbing their boobs, did he? He made a joke and big smile and give them a kiss. But I've done a video of that clip. I turned 64 and yes, right. I turned 64 and yes, very good. Yeah. You're not much older than me, Deborah. I'm 57. There's not a lot of difference, is there? Elvis does not have to prove anything to anybody. Thanks, Teresa. Deborah, me too. You're 64. Yeah, but you're all of you are in your 60s going on 40. Come on. You're Elvis fans. We're young at heart, aren't we? I'm 57. I feel 30. Yeah, and you lot are the same. Elvis fans feel young. I started my all right, okay, Clayton. I started my no-carb diet yesterday, and I'm already craving a donut. Yes, you will, Clayton. Have a pint of water, have a coffee, and blend butter into your coffee. Make sure the meat that you're eating is fatty. It must be fatty. That stops you feeling hungry. You must have the fat in your meat. Cook it in butter. It will stop you feeling hungry. The first month is the hardest. The first month, Clayton. Feel free to send me any questions. Yes, ma'am. Deborah. Yes, ma'am. 64 August. Right. Teresa, you rock. Mine knows I work. Cheryl. Claire, it's tough, but once you resist, you don't want the donut. Are we still talking about the donuts? You have to resist. Right, I don't want to talk about the diet because that's not why we're here. But the less sugar you eat, so bread, pasta, wheat, rice, potato, donuts, cakes, all that, the less sugar you eat, your body starts to adjust and starts to learn to live off the meat and eggs and the fat in the meat. As your body adjusts, you get less hungry. You get less hungry. I only eat twice a day. But it took me a while to get there. Right. Deborah, steaks and shrimp, but make sure you cook it in butter. Get some fat in there. Use the fat from the meats, Diana. Yeah? That will stop you feeling hungry. Well, that's a bit hypocritical, Louis, telling me off for saying Elvis liked young girls and maybe kisses some passionately, and then talk about how times were different and people married at 16. No, because you're talking about girls under 16, Nadia. You're saying that Elvis liked 14-year-old girls. I actually think, don't forget, in England, even now, you are legally allowed to be married, to marry a girl over 16 in England, even now. Yeah? Now, you go back to the 1950s and 60s, marrying a 16, 17-year-old was completely normal. The reason I got a bit annoyed with you, Nadia, even though I love you, because you're suggesting that he liked girls 14 and 15 years old. I don't agree. I don't think Elvis wanted sex with girls that were 14 or 15. Now, did he like his fans? Yeah. Did he like, 5,000 teenagers queuing up outside the gates of Graceland? Of course he did. They were his fans. It's the same today. One Direction had the same effect. Doesn't mean they were paedophiles. In my opinion, if you're under 16 and you have sex, if a man has a sex with a girl under 16, they are a paedophile. That's my opinion. But these girls were not under 16. You just mentioned that in the 50s and 60s, it was okay to marry a girl from 16 and up. That isn't paedophiles. But I do think now, in 2024, things have changed. Hi, Vibex. Let's have a look. Oh, we're getting near the end. Let's have a look. We finally got there, guys. My second son was 36. This is Deborah. The doctor said you have got to stop having babies. I said I just started. Well, I've had 5. I've got 6 kids in total. I've got 5 with my wife and 1 from a long time ago. And my son, I've got a son called Andreas who is 27 years old. And we're best friends. But he's got his own life in Bristol. And he's actually going to get married to a girl from Ireland. I named him after my twin brother. I love him to bits. I miss him. I wish he visited me more often. Let's have a look. Louis going off pissed. My second son, I was 36. Doctor said, girl, you have got to stop having babies. All right, we've just read that right. I'm 54, 55 in November. So we've got Deborah. I use butter and a little garlic. Yeah, that's okay. Garlic, bit of onion, a little bit of veg is okay, guys. Don't go too overboard with it, otherwise you'll get bored. A little bit of fruit, a few nuts, things like that. It's, you can have a bit of chili sauce and, a bit of salad dressing. Don't completely make yourself suffer. So, James, Nadia, you're 52 going on 30. Yes. Nadia, you're a pain in the ass. Even though I love you. Right. You need to stand up. Right, Deborah, you need to stand up. I was the class clown in high school. Deborah, I'm not surprised. That does not surprise me, Deborah. And as you get into the keto diet and your energy comes back, you're going to be the class clown again, Deborah. Like James now. James is on the keto diet and he is pumping iron, guys. Pumping iron. Is that right, James? You need to do a stand-up. Right, let's have a look. Right, okay. You and Deborah are comedians. Oh, no, that makes sense, Deborah. You are very funny. Linda. All right, I got a voicemail from Shauna. I know, that's weird. Let's have a look, 1 second. Oh, I don't know if it's come through. Let me... Right, does anyone want to hear Shauna singing? Do you want to hear Shauna singing? Right, you ready, guys? Shauna, I hope you don't mind. Hang on, let me ask her. Let me ask her first. Can I play it? Let's have a look. Play it on my live now. If she says yes, I'll play it, yeah? Right. Linda, you was young, right, Prissy, feeling 26, James. Guys, I don't want to talk about the diet too much, but I'm telling you now, guys, if you are on keto, you will always feel 30. I feel 30. 14 months ago, I felt 60. That's what the diet has done for me. And I know people like James and Deborah and other people that are doing it. Within a month, you're going to feel like I feel. Now, remember, I woke up at 5:45 a.m. and it's 10 p.m. and I'm full of energy. That's because of my diet. I've only eaten twice. I had egg and bacon and pork chop for dinner, and for tea, I had lamb and chicken. That's all I've eaten today. Nothing else. I've had tea and coffee. I had some chili sauce. I had some salt, some butter, and I've been drinking water. Water. So stick with it, guys. It works. If you want to, but might get copyright claim. All right, she's saying I might get... Oh, I'll say to her, okay, I'll only play a small amount. I'll just play a small bit of it. This is Shauna. And in a flash, it was gone. What happened so soon? What could you do? This is Shauna off Tender Loving Elvis. Yeah. Shauna. Yeah. Black velvet. She's going for it, isn't she? Black velvet. If you please. Woohoo! Yeah, loving it. Come on, Shauna. If you please. Come on, guys, for Shauna off Tender Loving Elvis. Right, you ready? Right, I'm gonna take her a picture of the comments. I'm taking a picture. Guys, do your comments now. I'll send them to Shauna. That's it. Far away with the comments. I'm sending them to her. She's reading them, guys. If you please. She says, thanks, everyone. I love to sing. All right. Right, I'm just replying to her, telling her that you love her and that she was amazing. She said that is so sweet. What a great ending. Right, guys, we have been on for 2 hours. 2 hours. How did that happen? How did that happen? We're rocking, guys. We're rocking. Thanks, James. So I think we're going to have to come to the end of it. But my ex was like Priscilla. Yes, James has told me what his ex was like. After the divorce, I stayed single for sometimes. Then my grade school sweetheart came into my life, and he is a real winner. Oh, that's nice, Deborah. So Shauna has just said, you guys rock. And then, thank you. I didn't expect you to play that, though. I sing and send my songs to all my friends. Please keep, I'll say, please keep doing it. Please. Loved, no, actually, no, I'd say loved it. Loved it. You're a bit crazy, but I like it. You're a bit crazy, but I like it. But I like it. Right, let's have a look. Where are we? Right, we are. Tracy, I'm carnival for 5 years now. I'm 64 and I feel like I'm in my 40s. Lots of energy, great sleep, no health issues at all, no meds. Tracy, you said it all. There's no more needed to be. All of you that are thinking of doing keto or carnivore, read Tracy's comment. Says it all. Exactly how she described it is how I feel. Jane, I met my husband at 15. He died 2 years ago. We would have been together 50 years in November, but he died in June. Oh, I send you love, Jane. Send you love. Send you love. Right, let's have a look. So we have Linda, who's in the, obviously we know who's in the UK. Let's have a look. Guys, I reckon you sent about over 50 messages to Shauna. So Shauna says, welcome to my crazy life. I just put love it. Right. Rhonda rang me. Rhonda spoke to me today. She was great. Right, because I haven't told you this. Rhonda spoke to me today, which I loved. Rhonda from Presley Mania. She was so lovely, so sweet. She's great. I look forward to her joining one of our lives one day. Rhonda, thank you so much for speaking to me today. Big smile on my face. Right. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. Right. We're coming to the end, guys. We've been on for. Going to see Elvis exhibition in London. Oh, Kelly, I want to go as well. This is in the under the arches, yeah? In the arches? Yes. Yeah, Deborah, Western Supermare. Yeah, James, come on. Western Supermare. You see my video today? I was stood in the sea. I loved it. Yes, you can. Maria, you can have ice cream, but you've got to make it differently. Look up the keto recipe. I think you can use cream. You use probably a fruit to make it sweet, like strawberry and egg. So strawberry, cream, and egg. Whisk it and put it in the freezer. It's lovely. You'll be surprised what you can have on keto. You can have cheese. You can have cottage cheese, coleslaw. You can have salsa. You'll be surprised. There's things you can have. Mayonnaise is allowed if you like your mayonnaise. I loved it. In the sea today, guys, it was special. It was special. Cheese is fine. All the cheeses are fine. Even now, when I go to bed, I'm going to have a few nuts. It's something like, yeah, it's like an Atkins diet. It is, yeah. Very similar. Very similar. But I go keto. Joy, I go a bit keto. So I have a little bit of veg, bit of fruit, few nuts, bit of honey. Yeah. I'm not strict carnivore, but I do have at least, I would say 85% is just meat and eggs. Meat and eggs. 85%. And the rest is a treat. Yeah, that's all good. Wisconsin butter cheese. Lovely. Me too, Diana. Diana, I told you I'm going on my 60th birthday. 60th birthday, I'm going to be there. July the 10th, 19, whatever, what year would that be? July the 10th, when I turn 60. Want some fruit sushi? Yeah, you can have fruit, but you got to have not too much because fruit is very fattening and full of sugar, and it's full of fructose. So you've got to keep your fruit small amounts. Don't overeat on fruit. It's not good for you. It will even push up your blood sugars, and it's not good for your liver. Fruit is digested using your liver. Fructose is, yeah. So too much fruit can give you fatty liver, guys. So be careful with the fruit. Yeah, I'll take you for a drive. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do a live stream, and I'll put the camera on in the 1967 VW split screen, and we can all go for a drive together. I drove it today. I drove the split screen today to the beach. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll set up the camera and we'll go for a drive in it. Guys, you know that I ran pubs for 30 years. That was my trade. Pubs, DJing, discos, nightclubs, chip shops, restaurants. Yeah, but Deborah, not too much fruit. Not too much fruit. You don't really want, Deborah, don't have more than 2 pieces of fruit a day. Maximum. Otherwise, you'll put on weight. Oh, lucky you, Jane. I wish I could go to Graceland next year. Yes, I do. Both my parents were Cypriot. Both my parents were Cypriot. Yes, not in October. In 1960. Coming in October with me, in July. I'm gonna wait till I'm 60. It's my goal, Nadia. Yeah, too much fructose. Not sorry, Nat. You got to keep the fruit little. Meat, eggs, fruit little, vegetables little. Yeah, low carb vegetables. The fruit I recommend that's not too much sugar in is blackberries and strawberries. Is it gooseberries? Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, Deborah, that's okay. So that's okay. I would love to see your area. It's beautiful, Stacey. It's lovely when it's sunny, but in the winter, it's not good. Yes, James, come on. By then you'll be looking 50, maybe 40. Yeah, I've heard it's hot. Yeah, but I'm told you, Tracy, I'm going to stay in the air-conditioned hotel, the big, beautiful Graceland Hotel. Every room air-conditioned. They've got their own swimming pool. It's going to be great. Okay. Yes, James, come on, get that pumping iron. We love it. I've really been sticking to the diet. I've been good. I've been very good. I have. I've been trying to get my wife to do it because she's a bit poorly, and she has been doing it. Today she did it, but yesterday she was naughty. Yesterday she had a pizza and some chocolate, but today she was keto, and she did a 24-hour fast. So she's on and off. All right, anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to go. It's very late. We've been. I can't believe we've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's like, how did that even happen? I can't believe the time. So, guys, love to all of you. Nadia, I still love you. Don't worry. No hard feelings, Nadia. You're allowed to disagree with me. It's fine. I'm not Sally Hoddle. You're allowed to disagree with me. It's okay. Right. What's up? Meet you all in the book club. Let's have a look. Short later, guys. Yep. And Rhonda's told me she's going to mention our channel. Rhonda told me that the next time she does a show, she's going to give us a shout. That'll be good. Yeah, we had some fun, James. Take it easy, guys. And if anyone's watching, if Rhonda's watching, or if Shauna's watching, I'm sending you love. Thanks all of Team Elvis. Team Elvis, you rock. Team Elvis, taking care of business. Thank you, Nadia. Peace out. Love to all. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Love you. All of you. You're brilliant. You're amazing. Every one of you. We got loads of members on here. Loads of members. I love the members and the subscribers. All the best, James. James is my friend. We're out of here.